Way back there.
Understanding your theory that sort of a down market is good for net savers, can you sort of give us your thoughts as to where the market's going, its downward trend, and long-term profit or long-term profit, obviously?
Well, I've got no idea where the market's going to go. I prefer it going down, but I haven't. My preferences have nothing to do with it. The market knows nothing about my feelings. That's one of the first things you have to learn with a stock. You buy 100 shares of General Motors. Now, all of a sudden, you have this feeling about General Motors. I mean, if it goes down, you may be mad at it. You may say, well, if it just go up to what I paid for it, my life will be wonderful again. Or if it goes up, you may say how smart you were and how you and General Motors have this love affair and everything. You've got all these feelings. Stock doesn't know you own it. Stock just sits there. It doesn't care what you paid. It doesn't care that you owned it or anything. So any feeling I have about the market is not reciprocated. I mean, it is the ultimate. It is very cold shoulder we're talking about here. And anybody that is going to be a net saver, practically everybody in this room is more likely to be a net buyer of stocks over the next 10 years than they are a net seller. So every one of you should prefer lower prices. I mean, if you're going to be a net eater of hamburger in the next 10 years, you want hamburger to go down unless you're a cattle producer. And if you're going to be a buyer of Coca-Cola and you don't own Coke stock, you hope the price of Coke goes down. I mean, you're looking for it to be on sale this weekend at your supermarket. You want it to be down on the weekends, not up on the weekends when you're going to attend the supermarket. Your stock exchange is a big supermarket of companies, and you're going to be buying stocks. What do you want to have happen? You want those stocks to go down, way down. And, you will make better buys then. And later on, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when you're in a period when you're dis-saving or when your heirs dis-save for you after you're gone, I mean, then you may care about higher prices. But I find people, that was one of the, there's a chapter 8 in Ben Graham's Intelligent Investor about the attitude towards stock market fluctuations. And that and the chapter 20 on the margin of safety are the two most important essays ever written on investing as far as I'm concerned. Because when I read chapter 8, when I was 19, I figured, I just figured out what I just said, but it's obvious. I didn't figure it out myself, though. It was explained to me. I'd probably gone another 100 years if I had read and still thought it was good when my stocks were going up. No, we want things to go down, but I have no idea what the stock market's going to do. I never do. I never will. It's not something that I think about at all. When it goes down, I look harder at what I might buy that day. Because I know there's more likely to be some merchandise there that I can use my money effectively in.
Okay, Warren, we'll take one more question from the audience.
Okay, I'll let you pick who gets it. You can be the guy.
What's the question? Okay, right back there.
If you live it again, study your life again, then what would you like to do to have a happier life?
Yeah, I would say, and this is going to sound disgusting. The question is, what would I do if I were going to live over again and have a happier life? The only thing I might do is select a gene pool where people live to be 120 or something that I came from. But I've been extraordinarily lucky. I mean, I use this example. I'll take a minute or two because I think it's worth thinking about a little bit. Let's just assume that it was 24 hours before you were born, and a genie came to you, and he said, Herb, you look very promising, and I've got a big problem. I've got to design the world in which you're going to live. And he said, I've decided, hell with it, it's too tough. You design it. So you've got 24 hours. You figure out what the social rules should be, the economic rules, the governmental rules, and you're going to live under those, and your kids are going to live under them, and their kids are going to live under. And you say, I can design anything? And Genie says, yeah, you can do it. And you say, well, there must be a catch. He says, well, there is a catch. You don't know whether you're going to be born black or white, rich or poor, male or female, infirm or able-bodied, bright or retarded. All you know is you're going to take one ball out of a barrel that's got 5.8 billion. You're going to participate in what I call the ovarian lottery. You're going to get one ball out of there. And that is the most important thing that's ever going to happen to you in your life, because that is going to control whether you're born here or in Afghanistan, or whether you're born with an IQ of 130 or an IQ of 70. It's going to determine a whole lot. And you're going to go out of the world and you're going to have that ball. Now, what kind of a world do you want to design? Well, I think that's a good way to look at social questions, because not knowing which ball you're going to get, you're going to want a ball that you're going to want design a system that's going to produce lots of goods and services, because you're going to want people on balance to live well. and you're going to want it that produces more and more so your kids live better than you do and your grandchildren live better than the kids. But you're also going to want a system that if it does produce lots of goods and services, does not leave behind a person that accidentally got the wrong ball and is not well wired for this particular system. See, I'm ideally wired for the system I fell into here. I mean, I came out and I got something that enables me to allocate capital. You know, nothing so wonderful about that. If all of us were stranded on a desert island, you know, we all landed there and we're never going to get off of it, the most valuable person would be the one that could raise the most rice, you know, over time. And you know, I could say, well, I'm going to allocate capital. You know, how about paying me? And you wouldn't get very excited about that. So I am in the right place. I mean, Gates says if I'd been born, you know, a few million years ago, I'd been some animal's lunch. You know, he says you can't run very fast, you can't climb trees, you can't do anything. You've just been chewed up in the first day. So he says you're lucky you were born today, and I am. But the question, getting back, one question you can ask yourself, incidentally, is here is this barrel with 5.8 billion balls. Everybody in the world, if you could put your ball back, and they gave you, and then they took out at random 100 other balls, and you had to pick one of those, would you put your ball back in? Now, those 100 balls that you're going to get out, roughly 5 of them will be American. So there's 95 versus 5. So you're only going to have 5 balls. If you want to be in this country, you're only going to have 5 balls now left. You know, half of them are going to be women, half of them are going to be men. I'll let you all decide how you vote on that one. Half of them are going to be below average intelligence, half are going to be above. I mean, do you want to put your ball back? Most of you, I think, will not want to put that ball back to get 100. So what you're saying is, I'm in the luckiest 1% of the world right now, sitting in this room, top 1% of the world. Well, that's the way I feel. I mean, I've been lucky to be born where I was, because it was 50-1 against me in the United States when I was born. Lucky with parents, lucky with all kinds of things, and then lucky to be wired in a way that in a market economy pays off like crazy for me. It doesn't pay off for somebody who's absolutely as good a citizen as I am, you know, leading Boy Scout troops, teaching Sunday school, whatever, raising fine families, but it just doesn't happen to be wired in the same way I am. So I've been extremely lucky, so I would like to be lucky again. And if I'm lucky, then the way to do it is to play out that game and do something you enjoy, you know, all your life, and be associated with people you like. I only work with people I like. You know, I don't. If I could make $100 million by buying a business with some guy that caused my stomach to churn, I'd say no, because I say that's just like marrying for money, which probably isn't a very good idea under any circumstances. But if you're already rich, it's crazy, right? So I am not going to marry for money. So I would really do almost exactly what I've done, except I don't think I'd have bought the U.S. Air. Thanks.